Yes, we can. Never give up on your dreams. Change will not come if we wait for some other person, or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. There is no excuse for not trying. Change is never easy, but always possible. Excuses are tools of the incompetent used to build bridges to nowhere and monuments of nothingness. If you're walking down the right path and you're willing to keep walking, eventually you'll make progress. We did not come to fear the future. We came here to shape it. Keep exploring. Keep dreaming. Keep asking why. Don't settle for what you already know. Never stop believing in the power of your ideas, your imagination, your hard work to change the world. Empathy is a quality of character that can change the world. Reading is the gateway skill that makes all other learning possible. Your voice can change the world. Literacy is the most basic currency of the knowledge economy. For the world has changed, and we must change with it. Our stories may be singular, but our destination is shared. We remember, we rebuild, we come back stronger. Hope, hope in the face of difficulty, hope in the face of uncertainty, the audacity of hope. Reading is important. If you know how to read, then the whole world opens up to you. Nothing can stand in the way of the power of millions of voices calling for change. The future belongs to young people with an education and the imagination to create. Our destiny is not written for us, but by us. The future is ours to win. But to get there, we can't just stand still. Nothing in life that's worth anything is easy. Learning to stand in somebody else's shoes, to see through their eyes, that's how peace begins, and it's up to you to make that happen. Empathy is a quality of character that can change the world. I wish the country had fewer lawyers and more engineers. A budget is more than just a series of numbers on a page. It is an embodiment of our values. We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. We don't ask you to believe in our ability to bring change. Rather, we ask you to believe in yours. The future rewards those who press on. I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. I don't have time to complain. I'm going to press on. We don't turn back. We leave no one behind. We pull each other up. My identity might begin with the fact of my race, but it couldn't end there. At least that's what I would choose to believe. Don't just consume things, create things. In the unlikely story that is America, there has never been anything false about hope. When times get tough, we don't give up, we get up. Don't just get involved. Fight for your seat at the table. Better yet, fight for a seat at the head of the table. Where you are right now doesn't have to determine where you'll end up. If the people cannot trust their government to do the job for which it exists, to protect them and to promote their common welfare, all else is lost. A change is brought about because ordinary people do extraordinary things. There's not a liberal America and a conservative America. There's the United States of America. You can't let your failures define you. You have to let your failures teach you. Persevere. Nothing worthwhile is easy. The best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something. What Washington needs is adult supervision. The arc of the moral universe may bend towards justice, but it doesn't bend on its own. When ignorant folks want to advertise their ignorance, you don't really have to do anything. You just let them talk. Be conscious of God and speak always the truth. If you run, you stand a chance of losing, but if you don't run, you've already lost. Every life must be given the chance to realize its full potential, that every life matters. Together, we're going to finish the job we started. No one in America should ever be afraid to walk down the street holding the hand of the person they love. I will listen to you, especially when we disagree. It's not just enough to change the players. We've got to change the game. All people should be treated equally, regardless of who they are or who they love. The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are the people with something to hide. The easiest way to save money is to waste less energy. We rise and fall as one people, one nation. Religious freedom doesn't mean you can force others to live by your own beliefs. Any fool can have a child. That doesn't make you a father. It's the courage to raise a child that makes you a father. Reading makes all other learning possible. We have to get books into our children's hands early and often. You have to exercise, or at some point, you'll just break down. Islam has a proud tradition of tolerance. The flame of the diya, or lamp, reminds us that light will ultimately triumph over darkness. Love and hope can conquer hate. We are not entitled to success. We have to earn it. If you're a strong man, you should not feel threatened by strong women. One of the best investments we can make in a child's life is high-quality early education. No challenge poses a greater threat to future generations than climate change. In the face of impossible odds, people who love this country can change it. Sticking your head in the sand might make you feel safer, but it's not going to protect you from the coming storm. The Holy Quran tells us, "O mankind, we have created you male and a female, and we have made you into nations and tribes so that you may know one another." We may have different backgrounds, but we believe in the same dream that says, this is a country where anything's possible, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from. We have got to dispel this myth that bullying is just a normal rite of passage. We have to uphold a free press and freedom of speech, because in the end, lies and misinformation are no match for the truth. While we breathe, we will hope. Libraries remind us that truth isn't about who yells the loudest, but who has the right information. The Muslim call to prayer is one of the prettiest sounds on earth at sunset. Nobody cares how tough your upbringing was. Nobody cares if you suffered some discrimination. We have proved that the true strength of our nation comes not from the scale of our wealth, but from the power of our ideals, opportunity, democracy, liberty, and hope. Above all, children need our unconditional love, whether they succeed or make mistakes, when life is easy and when life is tough. When times change, so must we. We are an American family, and we rise and fall together as one nation. The best anti-poverty program is a world-class education. No religion is responsible for terrorism. People are responsible for violence and terrorism. My fellow Americans, we are and always will be a nation of immigrants. We were strangers once too. The role of citizen in our democracy does not end with your vote. No matter how much you've done or how successful you've been, there's always more to do, more to learn, more to achieve. Life takes its own turns, makes its own demands, writes its own story, and along the way, we start to realize we are not the author. Young men need to show women the respect they deserve and recognize sexual assault and to do their part to stop it. We are the change we have been waiting for. The sweetest sound I know is the Muslim call to prayer. Higher education cannot be a luxury reserved just for a privileged few. It is an economic necessity for every family, and every family should be able to afford it. Associate with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation. Our nation owes a debt to its fallen heroes that we can never fully repay, but we can honor their sacrifice. I accept that people are going to call me awful things every day, and I will always defend their right to do so. No party has a monopoly on wisdom. No democracy works without compromise. At the moment that we persuade a child, any child, to cross that threshold, that magic threshold into a library, we change their lives forever for the better. I think that leadership, more than anything, is about setting a course and describing a vision for people. We may come from different places and have different stories, but we share common hopes and one very American dream. Empowering women isn't just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. I face the world as it is and cannot stand idle in the face of threats to the American people. For make no mistake, evil does exist in the world. Weapons of war have no place on our streets. I'm convinced that a world in which girls are educated is a safer, more stable, more prosperous place. Money is not the only answer, but it makes a difference. We don't quit. I don't quit. Let's seize this moment. Unless you're one of the first Americans, a Native American, you came from someplace else. Somebody brought you. We will convey our deep appreciation for the Islamic faith, which has done so much over the centuries to shape the world, including in my own country. In our household, the Bible, the Quran, and the Bhagavad Gita sat on the shelf alongside books of Greek and Norse and African mythology. For the sake of our children and our future, we must do more to combat climate change. Of all the rocks upon which we build our lives, we are reminded today that family is the most important. That is why we fight, in hopes of a day when we no longer need to. I'm always suspicious of politics dividing people instead of bringing them together. Greatness is never free. It must be earned. The future must not belong to those who bully women, It must be shaped by girls who go to school and those who stand for a world where our daughters can live their dreams just like our sons. We honor those who walked so we could run. We must run so our children soar, and we will not grow weary. The journey will be difficult. The road will be long. I face this challenge with profound humility and knowledge of my own limitations. But I also face it with limitless faith in the capacity of the American people. America's nurses are the beating heart of our medical system. On this day, we gather because we have chosen hope over fear, unity of purpose over conflict and discord. Each of us deserves the freedom to pursue our own version of happiness. No one deserves to be bullied. A low-carbon, clean energy economy can be an engine of growth for decades to come. When we succeed because of our individual initiative, but also because we do things together. We remain more than a collection of red states and blue states. We are, and forever will be, the United States of America. The terms of peace may be negotiated by political leaders, but the fate of peace is up to each of us. We need to internalize this idea of excellence. Not many folks spend a lot of time trying to be excellent. No discrimination, that's what we're about as a country. You can't rest on your laurels. Your own body of work is yet to come. I'm inspired by my own children, how full they make my heart. They make me want to work to make the world a little bit better, and they make me want to be a better man. I believe that this country succeeds when everyone gets a fair shot, when everyone does their fair share, when everyone plays by the same rules. We know that education is everything to our children's future. We know that they will no longer just compete for good jobs with children from Indiana, but children from India and China and all over the world. Just because we have the best hammer does not mean that every problem is a nail. Change doesn't come from Washington. Change comes to Washington. The surest path to success is to surround yourself with brilliant women. We must carry forward the work of the women who came before us and ensure our daughters have no limits on their dreams, no obstacles to their achievements, and no remaining ceilings to shatter. A nation that can't control its energy sources can't control its future. Don't just buy a new video game, make one. We are at a time in our country's history that inclusive language is better than exclusive language.